In a world where wide receiver Rashee Rice gets so bored in the offseason, he lures a photographer to a nightclub in Dallas only to punch him in the face, starring Denzel Washington as Rashee Rice. New info's dropped about the Rashee Rice case. The new case, we're going to talk about that, is getting really bizarre. Plus, Zay Jones came to KC for a visit. Steve, let's talk about it.
We're all chiefed up, and we're back with another podcast for that ass. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. The Rashee Rice situation is just getting out of hand, Mike. I don't even know what's going on with it anymore.
It's getting so bizarre. This is the new thing that's come out. Dallas PD report reveals details about alleged assault in which police suspect Rashee Rice. Okay, this is what it says. An offense report obtained by the Dallas Morning News on Thursday reveals new details about what led up to allegations of an assault in which police suspect KC receiver Rashee Rice. The report obtained by the news through a public records request said a suspect assaulted a photographer after luring him back to a downtown nightclub in Dallas under the premise that he was being hired to take pictures. According to the police, the photographer believed the suspects wanted him to hire him to take pictures. When he returned, he was made aware by the suspect was that other members of the suspect's entourage, and then they punched him in the face. You can go ahead and stop and read all that, but that's pretty much the gist, Steve. So this photographer is saying he was lured in to take pictures by Rashee Rice, and once he was at the nightclub, they punched him in the face.
That might be one of the dumbest things I've ever read in my entire life.
This
what
is
are we
getting
talking about
bizarre,
here? So
dude.
we have an NFL football player who's out there so damn bored that he's like, I have an idea. Let's lure this photographer in here to take pictures of us and let's punch him in the face. Like, what are we doing
This doesn't
here?
look, this gets completely resolved. He said this was on Instagram. Just show him your Instagram. That's all you got to do at this point. What, doesn't this get resolved by just looking at Instagram messages?
I guess so, man. But all I know is that after the first incident with Rashee Rice, with racing the car, hitting people, not checking on people, leaving the scene of the accident, now you have this going on. People's getting a little tired of hearing Rashee Rice's name in the news, especially Chiefs fans. It's getting kind of annoying. Is it his fault this time? I don't even know yet. I don't know what's going on. But I'm with you. You said last night on a live that kind of piggybacks off the first incident. You thought it might be like someone in the media trying to get to him, ask him questions about the prior incident.
Right.
And just pissed him off enough to hit him or something. But I don't even know. This is crazy.
This just feels like a bad Lifetime movie premise.
It's terrible.
Like, it sounds horrible. Matter of fact, listen to this one. Here we go. I think I've pulled in the Lifetime movie. In a world where wide receiver Rashee Rice gets so bored in the offseason, he lures a photographer to a nightclub in Dallas only to punch him in the face, starring Denzel Washington as Rashee Rice. Like,
Dude.
Come on. This is absurd, dude. If this turns out to be true.
I'm trying to like picture this scenario in my head, like him and his friends, and they're like, man, you know what would be funny? Let's get this photographer over here and make him think he's going to get some pictures. And then we're going to punch him in the face. And then like when that actually happens, they're like, oh,
They're
yeah.
like, we punched you in the face. And then they just allow him to leave and go to the hospital and report him to the police. This makes no sense. This
Zero.
makes absolutely zero sense. This is the dumbest thing ever. However, if this turns out to be true, Rashee Rice is not even like insane at this point. He is certifiably a psychopath.
Yeah, total slapnut, bro. I don't know what's going on there, but hopefully it's just some weird made up story. I don't know. It could be the crazy photographer, right? Who knows at this point? But I guess we'll find out. But until then, Chiefs fans are wondering what the heck's going to happen next season. How much is Rashee Rice going to play? Well, the Chiefs, they brought in Zay Jones the other day, Mike, to take a little look-see at him. So is that saying they're expecting that 8-game suspension?
I would think so at this point. It's getting a little wild. Schefter reports a former Jags wide receiver Zay Jones is scheduled to visit Thursday with the Kansas City Chiefs. Per league sources, he has already visited with the Titans, the Cardinals, and the Cowboys. So he has drawn a lot of interest. Jones posted 116 receptions, 1,144 yards, and 7 touchdowns over 22 starts and 25 appearances with the Jags, raising his 7-year statistics total to 287 receptions, 3,000 yards, and about 18 touchdowns, Steve. Last year, he was okay. He was tied for 65th in targets in the league. He was tied for 75th in receptions. Zay Jones is a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 kind of guy. He is going to raise the floor of the wide receiver room, not necessarily the ceiling. This is
Right.
kind of what the Chiefs need, but at the same time, I don't think this is a 100% need to sign Zay Jones kind of deal here.
We've talked over and over again about how the wide receiver room's pretty crowded right now. I know they have a lot going on with the Rashee Rice thing, but after drafting Xavier Worthy and bringing in Hollywood Brown, it's a crowded space. I don't know if they really need to add to it. If they were to, Zay Jones seems to be a good target. I mean, like you said, he's not going to be anything groundbreaking. He's not a superstar receiver, but he's definitely a guy that plays his role well and gets the job done, and he'll be pretty cheap. So I think that's what the Chiefs have to be looking at right now if they're just trying to compensate for Rashee Rice being out for a few games or something.
Yeah, right. He was targeted over about 60 sometimes. I'll bring it up on the graphic. 62 targets. He only had 34 catches. So that's only like a 50% completion percentage. They said he only had one drop, but if you look at his career drops, it's not very good here. He's had 20 in his career. Just last season, he had 8 an entire season. So he does have some drops. This probably puts him right at the forefront of Brett Veach's want list.
So we'll take him.
That's what it is. He also, this is what he does. He lines up, he's had 1,039 from the slot, and he played 1,956 out wide. So he is versatile. He can go inside, outside, which is what Andy Reid and them love to do with their receivers. Again, I don't think he moves the needle all that much. We've talked about it over and over. We would love to have a receiver in the Chiefs red and gold that can come in and be a needle mover for Patrick Mahomes in this offense. Somebody that is super reliable. This is just another 1 year stopgap. You know, Rashee Rice may get suspended. We need somebody for 8 games, 10 games, whatever it is. And again, Rashee Rice may not even be suspended this season. It may draw out to 2025. So don't really understand it, to be honest.
But Zay Jones levitates. We do know that.
He does.
And that makes us want him on the team a little bit just to watch him levitate every time he gets knocked down. But other than that, Mike, I don't think there's much of a reason for it. They've been bringing in UDFA receivers and all that. They got a lot to look at. And then you got Nico coming back. You still got to make your mind up on Justin Ross. There's so much there. I don't think you muddy the waters anymore, in my opinion.
They're not taking 7 receivers again this year, in my opinion. I think Andy Reid seen that as a mistake last year. It caused the rotation to be too vast. Nobody got in a rhythm. Patrick Mahomes didn't find any reliability within it. Nobody flourished from the idea. Justin Ross turned out to be crap, along with his offseason issues he had to deal with.
Right.
Justin Watson didn't really turn out to be all that great of a season. Sky Moore continued to struggle. Kadarius Toney had the worst season of his career. Nobody benefited from this. Not a single person. I think it gets cut back down to 6, possibly even 5, but I do think it settles on 6. And I just think if you bring in Zay Jones, now you've automatically said you have to cut a Kadarius Toney or a Sky Moore, and I don't see that happening.
Absolutely. But we appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you next time.
Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.